This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We also come together to know the truth of who we are and claim our birthright of prosperity. So if you're somebody who has dealt with codependency, dysfunctional relationships, or just really feeling inadequate or not totally fulfilled without somebody in your life, this is for you. I'm Dr. Erin. I'm a doctor of divinity, teaching universal law, metaphysics of mind, and how to reprogram your subconscious mind. I am the founder of New Thought Global and Soulciete, and I have trained and developed, thousands of women across the globe. And today, I want to break down how you truly can live an empowered life, how you can heal from codependency, dysfunctional relationships, and what that process is. And if you're a coach, how to deal with somebody who's dealing with codependency. So let's do this, you guys. Okay, so welcome again to this series. We're actually doing a series on codependency, dysfunctional relationships, and all the above, because this is a big issue, you guys. It's a huge issue in our world, in our culture. And if you're somebody who's really seeking that freedom in your relationships, you're ready to really live a life where you are generating love and you don't have bounds to your love. And you're also able to accept people, places, and things as they are and be able to fully step into your power. This is for you. So again, I'm Dr. Erin, and I know this very well because I was codependent for majority of my life. I came from an upbringing where I watched my mom as a total codependent in and out of relationships, ups and downs in her emotions. And I too carried it into my young adulthood. And I ended up being in relationships where I got married to somebody that I didn't even love because I thought that it would complete my life, right? I was with somebody that was an alcoholic and a drug addict, a very kind of famous rock star that was a complete disaster and dysfunctional relationship. And I'm not pointing the finger at him because I was just as dysfunctional because I thought that if he just changed, then, I was only acting out or sending me texts or screaming or yelling or doing whatever because it was his problem and what he was doing and the lies and the cheating and all that stuff that he did. Therefore, I justified everything that I did. And then I came to a really screeching halt when I had to surrender and get down on my knees and pray to my higher self and say, I need help. This is not working. And I can no longer live like this. So believe me, I know a lot about codependency. And so today we're going to break on down, how do you deal with this? Because when I train and develop spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches, we take them through a certification program. One of the big conversations is, how do we deal with somebody that's dealing with addiction? Because codependency and dysfunctional relationships is an addiction because it's a looping process that happens, within the mind. And as a metaphysicians, we recognize that everything begins in mind and everything begins with our identity, with our limiting beliefs and our limited identity. And so for me, I know exactly where it came from. It came from the traumas of this lifetime and past lifetimes. And the command and the identity I had was, I'm not lovable and love has to hurt. Love has to abandon. And so it was a self-fulfilling prophecy in my life for me to be able to pick people that were not available or for me to make sure that it turned into some drama for sure. Okay. So when I'm working with developing and certifying coaches, it's really interesting because when we come to this topic, we have to recognize that, codependency and addiction stems from trauma. Trauma is not what people think it just is. It's not just a physical thing. If you're human, you've had emotional trauma, meaning that you've had times of high states of negative emotions that cause frequency and vibration, which informs the subconscious mind, backed by what we call a command. And the command sometimes will go like this: I'm not enough. Something's wrong with me. I don't want to live. Love hurts, love abandons. I'm not lovable, whatever that command is. And it plays out, right? So the issue is when we're dealing with a client that has codependency or dysfunctional relationship, the issue is that if they're still in that relationship, they're still in that environment and they're not able to not re-trigger those traumas, it's kind of like having a wound and you have a scab on it, right? And if you keep picking up the scab, it keeps bleeding. So if you have trauma and you're in a dysfunctional or codependent relationship and you're constantly getting triggered, getting upset, reopening those wounds, then as a coach, it's almost impossible to have you really have true growth, which means that yes, we recognize that trauma works on that, and awareness and birthing your core values and healing everything has to happen. But we have to recognize sometimes we need to remove ourselves from the environment or from the relationship in order to heal. So I remember, years back being in a dysfunctional relationship and I loved him. It was not a lie. I actually did love him, but there was also parts of it that did not work and I was unable to be in the relationship, right? So it was a really hard thing. And they say it is stronger than heroin addiction, in that when you love somebody and you have all those emotions, there's a high that people get off of the emotions of, the high of falling in love. And it's stronger than cocaine, right? And then, coming out of it and going through withdrawals and the whole cycle, the merry-go-round cycle, right? And we do want to state that there's some incredible programs like coda.org or 12-step programs. And we highly recommend those for breaking the cycle. We also recommend checking yourself into a facility if you can't start to get help on your own and you can't start to do it on your own. Okay. So beyond that, as a spiritual coach, as somebody who trains and develops and certifies spiritual coach, there is a process to it, in that as the individual coach getting trained and certified, each individual as a coach needs to decide if this is something that they want to handle and they want to work with clients that are dealing with codependency or, dysfunctional relationships. I have come to my truth, and my truth is that I will have an agreement. The first session I have with a client, or even before first session, we will talk about codependency and addiction. And in that, if somebody is dealing with that, then we have an agreement that they're either able to, start to manage that and be able to not get too reactive or drink too much or be in any abusive relationship. Otherwise, our agreement is after 30 days working together or after a few sessions, that if they're not able to stabilize in their environment, then they need to remove themselves from the environment, or we'll put our coaching on hold until they are able to. Okay, because it's really important. And I want to speak to the person that is going through codependency and going through dysfunction out there in the world right now. First of all, I just want to say, I am holding you in my heart. I know the perfection of whatever you're going through. I really, truly do. We as divine teachers, as understand the power of mind, I do not look at it as bad or good, in that it is for your growth. And I recognize that when I went through codependency and a very dysfunctional relationship, it was a huge blessing in disguise, because it was the one thing that demanded me to do my inner healing and demanded me to get to my low, so that I would surrender, so that I would say, I decided to powerfully heal myself. And so right now I'm holding you in my heart, knowing the perfection of wherever you're at. Okay. And I recognize that, as it's not about trying to get better. It's really surrendering to what is. And if you need to stay in that relationship, then you know what? You need to stay there as long as you need to stay there until you are ready to say no more. And that's what I know for sure. And as a coach, I have one goal and one goal only, is to help you get clear what your true goal is. And if your goal is to be healthy, loving, completely have an expressed, loving, functioning, amazing relationships in your life, but you're over here in dysfunction, discord, codependency, and suffering and the insanity of it, then we want to know, what is it that you truly want? Are you committed to staying in that for a while and trying to figure it out? Are you committed to healing and completely getting over it? Only you can answer that. Okay. But in that, when you come to understand what you truly want, because some people are just committed to the misery. Some people really, truly are committed to staying in the drama and staying there. My invitation is for you to get real with yourself and ask yourself, what is it you truly are committed to? And in that, you should get real with yourself. And if you're really ready to heal and do the work, my invitation is for you to get out of that environment. Okay, I'm not telling anybody to get a divorce. I'm not telling anybody to break up with anybody. I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm saying to get out of the environment so that you're able to have space so that your triggers from your trauma aren't getting re-triggered. And then, of course, so that's all about getting aware, waking up to how you are creating reality, no matter what they're doing, no matter if you're with a narcissist, no matter if they've cheated, no matter if whatever they've done, this has nothing to do with them. And this has everything to do with you. And in that awakening of recognizing that you're the creator of your universe, you're the only person that's going to put up with whatever you're going to put up. You're the person that makes the standards for your life. You're the person that puts the boundaries on your life. You're that person. And in that, the next step is reprogramming. That means reprogramming your subconscious mind, reprogramming the identity of who you are, reprogramming and neutralizing and transforming all those traumas for you to use those traumas to birth the highest version of yourself and birth maybe even a purpose and a calling to come out of this for yourself. Okay. So first is, of course, to awaken to recognizing the truth that you're creating your reality. The second is to recognize that you need to reprogram your subconscious mind and, transform the true identity that you are. The third is to align and birth. What are your core values? What do you really want? And what would a healthy relationship look like for you? What is aligning with your truth and aligning with universal law so that you can live a life of harmony, live a life of unbounded love, live a life of all that, right? And then the fourth step is to affirm every day through your daily spiritual practice, to who you hang out with, to where you put your energy, and so on and so forth. Okay. So in this, let's just take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out. And I just say, thank you. I am so grateful for the suffering and the dysfunction and the codependency. I recognize that there are so many lessons and blessings through this. And in this, I recognize the truth of who you are. You're a divine, powerful, infinite, intelligent spiritual being, and that you have all the wisdom in you to know how to reach for your highest self and your highest help, which may mean getting help from something that seems external, but recognizing everything is one mind and you and I are connected. Everyone's connected. We are your higher self. It's all of the universe is your higher self working for you. And so I declare healing. I declare living your truth. I declare knowing and seeking your divine life, the highest expression of the use of your energy so that you can be a benefit to this planet, so that you can be a benefit to your lineage, so that you can be a benefit to your friends and family. And if you have children, to your children, to your future generations. And so I simply know this in gratitude, knowing you are already healed in the divine mind. This is just an experience you're going through. I recognize you're already perfect. You're already whole. You're already loved. You're already all of that. I simply know this. It's released as my word is law, as together we say, and so it is. Okay. So on that note, I just am saying, yes to you living your perfect life. And if you would like to discover more of how to transform your trauma, how to birth your truth, how to live that divine life, you're welcome to reach below. There are some links to our community to learn more, to come into our community and get trained and facilitate the work, to get some one-on-ones, to do whatever it is. And if not, I just want to say thank you for coming here. Please share this, subscribe to whether you're watching this on the podcast or whether you are on YouTube or wherever you are. I just say, please share this out with somebody, because I know so many people are suffering from codependency, and there's levels of codependency. Sometimes codependency looks like you can't even function and your whole life's falling apart. Sometimes codependency is just that you keep handing your power over and making somebody your source of joy, which instantaneously means that you make them the source of your suffering. So we all are codependent at some level, because unless you're a master spiritual, being on this planet, putting no power out to the external world, we're all codependent, developing ourselves to be completely the unique divine expression that we are. Okay. So have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciete and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciete.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciete. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciete. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.